The topic biologicals in asthma. Firstly, defining asthma. Asthma is a heterogeneous lung disease characterized by the chronic airway inflammation with the respiratory symptoms such as wheeze, shortness of breath, chest tightness, and cough, which vary over time and intensity and with the variable expiratory airflow limitation. It is very common disease, prevalence being 1 to 29% in various countries, and in India it is 2 to 4%. Some other related definitions like terms uncontrolled asthma. Uncontrolled asthma is persistent poor asthma control indicated by the frequent symptoms like twice in a week daytime symptom or night awakening due to this, or frequent reliever use like more than twice a week which limits the activity, or frequent exacerbations like more than equal to 2 in the past year requiring the OCS or more than equal to 1 requiring hospitalization. Then the difficult to treat asthma. It is the uncontrolled asthma that requires GINA step 4 and 5 treatment to maintain the control, and asthma being uncontrolled with these high level of the treatment still. Then severe asthma. It is the uncontrolled being maximal high dose inhaled ICS-LABA therapy and having an contributing factor such as incorrect inhaler use and comorbidities. And asthma worsens when we decrease the treatment from the high dose. There are some asthma phenotypes according to which we do the treatment of these phenotypes. These are the demographic, clinical, and pathophysiological characteristics. First being allergic. As the name suggests, allergics in this phenotype, we have association with the allergic diseases such as eczema, allergic rhinitis, food or drug allergy, and it responds well with the ICS treatment. Second is non-allergic. It has no association with the allergy and it has a lesser response with the ICS treatment. Third is cough variant or cough predominant. The only symptom being the cough in these cases, and some develop wheezing or bronchodilator responsiveness, and ICS is the treatment. Fourth one is adult onset or late onset asthma. It's mainly seen in the young females and in the adult life. And the corticosteroid is the only treatment and high dose ICS. Asthma with persistent airflow limitation. This is a long-standing asthma in which the patient having the airflow limitation that persists or incompletely reversible, and some of them develop the airway remodeling. Last one is the asthma with obesity. It is associated in the obese patients. Now there are two types of inflammatory phenotypes, type 2 high and non-type 2 inflammation. Type 2 inflammation is associated with certain cytokines like interleukin 4, 5 and 13, elevated eosinophil levels and increase the FeNO, and associated with the atopy and elevated IgE levels. Non-type 2 is having the mainly increased neutrophil levels. And in severe asthma, type 2 inflammation may be relatively refractory to the high dose ICS and responds well to the OCS, but higher dose of OCS. How we assess the severe asthma phenotype in which we need the biologicals is the any of the following, with having the patient already taking high dose ICS or daily OCS with blood eosinophil count more than equal to 150 per microliter, FeNO more than equal to 20 parts per billion, sputum eosinophils more than equal to 2%, and asthma is clinically allergen driven. This is the flow. We have two tracks for the asthma management or treatment according to the GINA 2025. The more popular being the track 1, and we mainly treat our patients according to the track 1. In this case, step 1 and 2 is the anti-inflammatory reliever therapy is the used, mainly the low dose ICS formoterol. In step 3, we use the maintenance and reliever therapy with low dose maintenance ICS formoterol. In step 4, we use MART with the medium dose of the maintenance ICS formoterol. In step 5, we use add-on LAMA therapy and assess the phenotypes accordingly and consider the high dose of ICS formoterol with the biologicals. And the reliever is same in all these steps, is as needed low dose ICIS formoterol. In track 2, we have step 1 reliever only therapy, where the SABA with ICIS in each dose, step 2 low dose maintenance ICS, and in step 3, 4, 5, the same as the track 1. But here the change is reliever therapy. Reliever is as needed ICIS SABA. I have discussed earlier that the biologicals are mainly being given in the type 2 targeted therapies. This is the inflammatory cascade in the asthma pathophysiology. Firstly, any of the allergen, pollutant or smoke which irritates the bronchial epithelium, which sensitize the dendritic cells, further which causes the through the naive T cells T2 cell stimulation. Th2 cells have two responses, one to the B cells which releases the eosinophils, IgE. IgE sensitizes the mast cell activation at basophils, which releases interleukin 4 and 13. And through the T2 cytokines, we have interleukin 5, 4 and 13, which causes the eosinophil maturation and smooth muscle contraction. Goblet cell releases the mucus hypersecretion. And the other response is through the TSLP and interleukin 33 and 25 through the NK cells, which causes the cell-mediated cytotoxicity. Here the response of these various biological agents act on these receptors of the, like omalizumab acts on the B cell receptors to decrease the IgE levels, and dupilumab acts on the interleukin 4 receptors. Mepolizumab and reslizumab act on the interleukin 5 receptors, and benralizumab act on the interleukin 5 alpha chain of these receptors, and tezepelumab acts on this TSLP. These are the 6 biologicals present. First, omalizumab, dupilumab, mepolizumab, reslizumab, benralizumab, and tezepelumab. IgE is an essential in inflammatory cascade of the allergic asthma produced by the B cells and responds to allergen activation of the cell-mediated immune response. Here the omalizumab acts on the IgE. It is the first FDA-approved biological for the treatment of severe asthma. It is humanized anti-IgE monoclonal antibody, and it binds to the Fc receptor of unbound IgE. This is shown in the next slide in the diagrammatic form. Omalizumab binds to the circulating IgE and decreases the cell-bound IgE, and secondly, it decreases the expression of high affinity receptors, which leads to decreased tissue infiltration and mediator release. Further leads to decrease in the allergic inflammation and asthma symptoms and exacerbations. Indicated in the patients of more than equal to 6 years, and in the moderate to severe asthma patients, total IgE between 30 to 1300 international unit for the 6 to 11 years, and 30 to 700 international unit per ml for the 12-year or older patients, and positive skin allergy testing for the perennial aeroallergens. This can be skipped, the preparation. The dose is based on the body weight and pre-treatment of the IgE levels. Recommended dose 0.016 milligram per kg of the body weight per international unit of the IgE, and it is given subcutaneously every 2 to 4 weeks. Given for the 3 to 6 months, and then we will see the response of the patient, and accordingly we can continue for the indefinite period. There are various studies like persistent innovative study. It shows that there is significantly reduced rate of the asthma exacerbation. Export study shows that even on the withdrawn of the omalizumab, there are decreased exacerbation for at least 1 year. There are some side effects like injection site reaction, nasopharyngitis, headache, upper respiratory infection, sinusitis, and it has a black box warning for the anaphylaxis. And it shows that there is an increase in the risk of malignancy like epithelial or solid organ cancers, but according to the Excel study, there is no increase in the risk of malignancy. Second interleukin is interleukin 5, considered the key cytokine responsible for the recruitment, maturation, activation and degranulation of the eosinophils. This is the mechanism when any allergen acts on the bronchial epithelium, activates the dendritic cells, and through TSLP, ILC2 cells and mast cells are sensitized, which all the three releases the interleukin 5, and further it causes the eosinophil activation. Mepolizumab, it is a humanized monoclonal antibody, first approved IL-5 against the IL-5 in November 2015, and acts on the alpha chain of the interleukin 5 receptor. Used for the uncontrolled eosinophilic asthma with increased sputum more than 3% or AEC more than 150 cells per microliter. There is a DREAM study for the mepolizumab. It shows that there is a reduced rate of clinically significant exacerbations after its use. Mensa study shows that there is a rate of exacerbation of patient receiving IV mepolizumab reduced by 47 to 53% of the subcutaneous administration. And the SIRIUS study shows that there is a reduction in the glucocorticoid use after this. Dosing and administration approved for the patient more than 12 years and with severe asthma with eosinophilic type, available in 100 mg lyophilized powder for reconstitution and used in the sterile water. 100 mg is given via the subcutaneous route every 4 weeks and given for at least 4 months for the treatment, and then can be given for the indefinite period according to the response. Adverse reactions like headache, injection site reaction, back pain, fatigue. The zoster vaccination should be given at least 4 weeks before its administration, even if we give the mepolizumab in the more than 50 years of the age of the patients. It also approved in the patients of eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis with higher dose of 300 mg every 4 weeks. And also in the COPD with eosinophilic phenotype. And there is a study Matrix or Mitrio for the COPD with eosinophilic type phenotype variant, and in the cases where the AEC level is more than 150, and it reduces the exacerbation. Third is reslizumab. It is a humanized. It is also humanized IL-5 antibody for the uncontrolled eosinophilic asthma, and it reduces the exacerbation and reduce AEC levels and improve the lung function. It is available on the brand name Syncure and FDA approved in the March 2016. It is given for the patients of age more than 18 years and older with severe eosinophilic asthma, AEC more than 400, and it is the only biological which is given intravenously with a dose of 3 mg per kg every 4 weeks over 20 to 15 minutes. And it comes in a 100 mg by 10 ml solution given for the severe asthma patients. Fourth one is benralizumab. It is a humanized fucosylated monoclonal antibody that targets the IL-5 receptor alpha on the eosinophils and basophils, and it causes a cytotoxicity. Administered in the more than 12 year of the age of the patients, and 30 mg subcutaneously every 4 weeks as an induction phase, and then every 8 weekly for the maintenance. It is approved in November 2017 and causes a significant reduction in the exacerbation and improves the quality of life of the patient, and more significant in the higher eosinophilic group, mainly AEC more than 300. And there are 2 trials, Sirocco Kalima trial, which shows that there is 51% reduction, and Zonda trial, which shows that there is a lesser use of osseous after this. Adverse reactions, it is well tolerated and can lead to hypersensitivity like anaphylaxis, angioedema, nasopharyngitis, upper respiratory tract infections. Then the IL-4 and 13 interleukins. IL-4 is a serine the type 2 high asthma, and it causes a T cell differentiation which induces the production of T2 cytokines like 5, 9, 13 and eosinophil eutexis. It causes this class switching of the B cell IgE, and second is interleukin 13. It causes the tissue remodeling and mucus hypersecretion by the goblet cells, smooth muscle alteration and increased hyperreactivity. And it causes, it also increases the nitrogen oxide levels, and both IL-4 and 5 pathways share the common receptor, that is IL-4 receptor alpha. On these receptors acts the dupilumab. It is a human monoclonal antibody, first FDA approved in 2018 in the age group of more than 12 years, and benefits of the patient mainly in the AEC levels of more than 150 and FeNO more than 25. Dupilumab acts on the alpha receptors of the interleukin 4 and 13. It is helpful in asthma, atopic dermatitis and chronic rhinosinusitis. It is given 200 to 300 ml every 2 weeks, and it causes this reduction of exacerbation by 70%. Quest studies shows that after given dupilumab given every 2 weeks for 52 weeks, significant reduction in the asthma exacerbation, and venture study trial shows that there is also reduction in the exacerbation. Adverse effects like injection site reaction, headache, upper respiratory tract infection, nasopharyngitis, increase in the eosinophil count. Then lastly, the tezepelumab. Tezepelumab acts on the TSLP receptor and further decreases all the down mechanism, like acts on the basophil, eosinophil, dendritic cells, neutrophil and mast cells, and decreases all the cytokines. It is an IgG2 monoclonal antibody that inhibits the binding of TSLP and approved in the more than 12 years of the patients. It blocks the downstream process of the processing of the further interleukins, and it is given 210 milligrams subcutaneous injection every 4 weeks. Outcome shows that 30 to 70% reduction in the severe asthma and improve the quality of life and lung function. Predictors like high eosinophil and high FeNO levels. It reduces the eosinophilic inflammation, activity of Th2 cells and interleukin cells, ILC cells. Adverse reactions like injection site reaction, anaphylaxis. Trials are pathway, navigator, destination and source. All these trials shows that there is a reduced asthma exacerbation rate by 50% and improve in the FEV1 and reduced biomarkers. Thank you.